Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That is me, along with Barry the Boater and Mike the Mariner rounding out the crew as we attempt to navigate the latest boating news and information. Barry's a little under the water.
Under the weather today.
Under the water. He's got a raspier voice, so he's got a whole Barry White thing going on. So if you get slightly aroused, I mean, that's on you, okay?
No one mentioned it till you did.
What are you talking about? You telling
Slightly aroused?
Well, you're saying your better half loved it. And,
yeah. The Barry White thing,
hey,
yeah,
baby.
sure.
Did you turn down the lights and maybe pop open a bottle of bubbly?
Bow wow.
Right. I'll put the old disco ball back up,
Actually,
right?
he sounds pretty normal to me.
No,
Mike.
it's been the last 2 days of just constant nose dripping here.
Oh, now, well, you just ruined the mood. Okay. All right.
It is what
Whiskey
it is.
and honey. You need whiskey and honey.
Oh, no, whiskey's nasty, man. That burns.
Emphasis
Not
on
with
the
honey.
whiskey. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that'll get you
All
there
right.
quicker. And then you won't care about
I'm sure it will. I'm going
what's
to pass out soon anyhow.
coming out of your nostrils.
And then
Anyway,
when you
okay.
wake up, you'll be healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh, that's the trick.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's medically proven.
Yeah, learn.
It's
You can learn a few things from your fellow crew members here, Barry. Come on. now.
That's right.
All right. So anyway, he's gonna muster through and get through it. But we got a few things to navigate on this weekend of the Palm Beach Boat Show, by the way.
Yes.
Which is going on right now. Weather looks pretty good. I bet it could be a good show. I mean, well, they say over 50,000 people are going to be there in Palm Beach this weekend.
Yeah,
Barry?
they said
That's
in
what
the
they're
past, up to 55,000, I believe it was, and also over in the past over $1.05 billion in economic impact. So that's the restaurants, the hotels,
Right.
all the other stuff that goes on to getting this together. The people, Palm Beach. If you were to go to that boat show, it's on the Intracoastal. And you see it's just dock after dock after dock. And then you realize those docks are not normally there. So they're temporary, but the way they do it, it almost looks like it's always been there. And you just see miles and miles of boats. It's
And you
really
just
nice.
Walk on down and admire
Oh,
these
yeah.
expensive vessels. Like, that could be me someday. And drool accordingly. But if you're doing it, like we talked about this last week, if you're really smart, you go to a boat show like that and you try to hang out at the watering holes, at the bars at the boat shows, and buddy up next to the bar. Next thing you know, you're talking to a billionaire, and you just want to suck up to them, become good friends. Next thing you know, they're bringing you on the boat, and you're traveling around the world. That's
it's like you mentioned last week. Is you said you got to first know that the guy owns the boat, and then you just
no, you don't.
you casually says it's a nice yacht, but it looks a little small, and then get him a little riled up, so he goes small.
Well,
What do you mean?
Just got to put
small?
yourself out there. You got to whore yourself out. And I mean, with Barry's voice, maybe you can use that to. No, that won't work probably, but I don't know. We're just saying,
I think we're at a slight disadvantage in that.
Yeah,
effort.
we are. Now, if we had Greg out there doing it, he's so hot.
Okay, way to make it awkward, Barry. Gee whiz.
Okay, on to another subject.
Yes,
now.
let's talk about saving the world.
Save the world one
This
engine at a
conversation is
time.
going to ruin it.
Okay.
We have, Barry came across a story about, what was it? Suzuki, the manufacturer, has come out with some new technology that might help the environment while you're boating.
This was in Trade Only magazine. Suzuki has freed the patents on a microplastics device that collects microplastics in the cooling water of your engine. And the way they do it is that, a regular outboard engine It takes the water in through the lower unit and it passes it through the engine, collects the heat,
Yeah.
and then just exhausts it out. Well, what they're doing is putting in a filter that I guess is fine enough to collect the microplastics that it's probably inhaling. And instead of exhaling it, it collects it. And then it has an easy way for you to take it apart, clean it, or empty it. And what you're doing is you're cleaning the water as you are boating because most plastics float. So all of this stuff is on the surface anyhow.
So Suzuki had a patent for that technology, which seems kind of common sense to me, though. I mean,
but what they're doing is they're saying to the rest of manufacturers, to Mercury, to Honda, to Yamaha,
get on board with this idea.
You can use this technology for free. You don't have to pay us for this because imagine all the boaters with outboard engines that are constantly driving around, and you have these little engines coming along and just sucking up water and cleaning it as you go. It's like if you were to drive around with a filter all the time on your boat, cleaning up the ocean.
Well, what are you giving up performance-wise on something like
Nothing,
that, Mike?
Because
you don't think?
Nah.
Barry says no. What do you say, Mike? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it would be negligible if the design is right. So this is a technology that is used in other sectors as well. I'm in the air conditioning business, and in large chiller plants with cooling towers, there's a device called a side stream filter that's added to remove debris from the water stream that cools chiller plants. And what happens is, that's an open water loop, so it gets debris and pollen and dirt and dust and leaves and all these things in it. And to keep that out of the main equipment, use a side stream filter to collect it. And you periodically open up the bottom of that side stream filter and clean it out. It's kind of like a pool skimmer.
Right.
If you think about it in terms of a pool skimmer.
Well, like a whole house water filter, wouldn't it be the same kind of thing too?
Right. Yeah. Right. But the trick is you still have to deliver the same amount of water to the engine to reject the heat. So the side stream filter is sized so you don't increase the pressure drop. And the pressure drop is, the water going in, then it has to go through what you're collecting, because the more debris you collect, the harder it is for the water to flow through.
Right.
So you still have to have the water flowing through, and the pump has to be able to accommodate that pressure drop to go to deliver the cooling water to the engine. So that's how it's done.
Yeah. What do you think, Barry?
And they specifically say that this is water's collected, or this material is collected after the water has gone through the engine to cool it. So they probably have a bypass system also set up that if this starts to clog up or get too much debris in there, it'll bypass it. Like the oil filter on your car. If people don't change their oil filter, eventually it starts to clog up, and it has a bypass valve in there so you don't blow up the engine.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's the side stream. Yeah. That's the side stream part of it. So as the filter gets to the point where water can't easily flow through it, it'll just flow through the primary part of the cooling system, and the water delivered to the engine stays the same.
Okay. So then it would like set off like a sensor or something, like, hey, clean the filter. Because that'd be the problem. The only problem with that type of system would be, like, if you're cruising out on the intercoastal, God knows what you're sucking up. You could clog up a filter like that, I would imagine, pretty quickly. Wouldn't you think? If it's that, it has to be pretty fine to catch microplastics, I would imagine. Yeah. Huh?
But the bigger things, if you look at any outboard, the intake for the water already goes through these little plastic, like a grating.
Yeah.
Like a sifter. So a lot of this stuff does not go through the engine. But what they're talking about these are the really small things that you can't see. The things that they say are going to harm us, that we probably already have in our bodies, the forever stuff that our bodies can't get rid of.
Gross.
Microplastics.
Yeah. Right.
Well, maybe you take it a step further and just have it spit out perfectly good drinking water. How about that? If it's going to take out all the microplastics, throw a desalinizer.
Yeah, but it would still be salty, right?
Yeah. And you got two benefits, maybe. Now we're just getting crazy. It's just crazy talk now.
I'm not going to drink water coming out of an outboard motor, but
you don't think? Well, after it went through the filter, it was good enough to get all the microplastics.
What do you think they do with the water in the space station?
Drink our own, Right. Okay. Well, we'll think about it and probably avoid it at all costs. More coming up on the World of Boating.
listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Look! Here comes a boat! Really? Oh, it's about time!
On this boat, we'll sail away tonight. And on this boat, confess that you were right.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner rounding out the crew. Okay, so this new patent, well, it's a patent Suzuki has, and they've opened it up to the rest of the industry to possibly adapt boating engines. So when you're out there on the water, it's filtering out microplastic. So you're actually, all the tree hugger folks that are always complaining about us stink potters all the time, you throw this back in their face and they're like, ha! We're saving the planet. What are you doing, losers?
Well, how about, we're doing something different and we're helping the planet while we enjoy our boating.
Yeah. That's another way to put it, but I might want to rub their noses.
I know what you want to do.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's, if the practicality of a system like that works, why not? The trick will be obviously if the filter clogs up too quickly, or if it affects performance somehow. You're always going to have that potential trade-off. But maybe it sounds like they may have a way to do that. And I guess maybe that's why the system is patented with Suzuki, and they've decided to
just share it.
Yeah, put it out there. Let's try to save the planet together, guys. You want to use it? Go get it. So why not? It'll make you feel better about boating.
And I sent a link so you can see what it looks like, and it looks like it's easy to access and easy to clean.
Yeah, I would think so.
And I mean, if you really should know a little bit about your engine, you don't have to be a mechanic, but you should understand how it works a little bit, read up, learn on it. I mean, you have YouTube University nowadays, where when I grew up, all we had were, rocks and we, blackboards and, we used
rocks
our
and blackboards. What
Yeah,
school did you
back
go
in
to?
the caveman days.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the design right now, and it is a classic side stream setup. And basically, what happens is until you reach a pressure drop where it would be restrictive to the cooling water going to the engine, it goes through that filter. And then, as the pressure drop increases, as debris gets collected onto the screen, it will divert back to a traditional, the traditional cooling loop.
Yeah.
And and it just won't be doing the filtering at that point until you clean it again.
Right.
I
And
would
it looks
imagine
like it's easy to access. Just take it apart, clean it out, put it back together, go out boating again.
I would think I wouldn't add a lot to cost either. That sounds like a fairly simple type of system, right?
Well, it's just a matter. It's routing the water. So it might require the engine redesign a little bit. Because, for example, on my engine, the water's routed all internally, and the only place that there is an external area is where the thermostat is, where you can change the thermostat, but everything's internal as far as water coming through the engine and going back down. So somewhere along the way, they would have to have a point after the water's gone through the engine where it can go through this device and then continue to the exhaust.
Right.
Yeah, it's a pretty elegant design. Actually, what they did is they took that whole part of the loop and made it external to the engine.
Exactly.
So all the other connections are going to be the same, and this just makes it actually simpler and more accessible than even the original design, which I think is great.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, let's wish them the best, and I think that's a good move. I don't see any downside to it other than the cost of adding this onto the engine, but I think that you could sell that pretty easily.
Oh yeah.
And just say, hey, you feel guilty about being out there on the water? Are people giving you any crap? Like, more restrictions. They don't want these power boats out on the lake. Well, guess what? I'm cleaning your lake for you. And then you could throw it back in their face and play that card.
I mean, and I'll tell you that pretty much every single boat, mine included, has it's not a side stream setup like this, but I have inboard engines, and they the incoming water goes through a strainer, and that strainer collects debris all the time when the engine's running, and I have to clean the strainers periodically for that and the air conditioning, and that is filtering. So when boats are running, every boat is kind of filtering the water to some degree.
Well, there you go.
Without this
Okay.
side
It's
stream
just
setup.
taking it to another level. So you play that card. I never looked at it that way, but now I'm absolutely going to. It's like
You have, Greg, you have any cul-de-sacs in your neighborhood, where a car can only go in a circle and come back out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
You have any, Mike, in your neighborhood?
Yes. I actually live at the end of one. Yes.
Okay. So do you ever wonder where that word came from?
Cul-de-sac?
Yeah.
You're up,
Don't let him
up
guess.
north. You're cold.
Cold? No,
Your
not
nether
cold.
regions get a little too chilled and
No, it's
cold.
cul-de-sac.
Okay. What? So what?
It actually has a marine background. It says it's an inlet connected with the sea by a small entrance. That's called a cul-de-sac.
So we adapted that to our neighborhood
To the thing,
suburbs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it where you have a whole bunch of houses in one little circle area. So it's like that little road is that little river inlet.
Okay.
And
So
then
you picked this up on YouTube University and
No,
therefore
my
we
book, The
don't-
Mariner's Dictionary.
Oh, it's out of a book. It must be
I
accurate.
was thumbing through it and I saw that word.
All
and
right. So you
we
just
were
wanted
discussing that last week.
to enlighten our passengers this
Right.
week and give them a cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac.
It's a mariner's term.
It's a mariner's term.
originally. Okay.
Right.
So
And
you
that'll
wanna
win
press
you
your
a free
friends?
beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a bet. Hey, tell me a word that has a marine background that we use every day in land.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's
Buy me a
something.
beer when I give you the answer.
Well, I'm not going to buy you a beer whether you give me
Thanks.
the answer or not. But
Whiskey and honey.
it's good. I'll give you the honey maybe.
Oh, thank you. Not
You
even
can
the
go-
whiskey. Oh,
yeah, you
my
can buy
God.
your own whiskey. That costs too
Thanks.
much.
All
Honey's
right.
not that much. Actually, honey's probably more
Honey's expensive.
than
Yeah.
the whiskey. Maybe we'll flip that.
Okay.
Anywho, all right. Well, thanks for that, Barry.
Okay.
A little detour there, but that's fine. Yeah, we got to keep everybody informed here as part of our virtual cruise through the latest boating news and information. Another little tidbit that Mike the Mariner picked up this week, and he threw a question to Barry and I before the show today. He says, what do you think is the most common problem boaters have while they're out enjoying their favorite pastime? That was the question, right, Mike?
Yes.
And we were both stumped.
Well, we guessed,
I was
but-
like, being in a cul-de-sac and thinking that I'm a mariner. I didn't know where to go with this. But I had
was
no
thinking
answer.
having to do number 2 and not
What?
having a head around. Bathroom break, and you don't have a head in your boat like my little boat.
That's what the side rails of your vessel are for. To hold
Well,
on
but
while
you don't want to leave marks all over it.
and then have someone else's boat come through and filter up
You can
your
always
mess.
jump in the water.
Yeah, you could, but I've always thought, the fish may come up to feed then.
Yeah, well, that might scare them away, though.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
It should. It absolutely
You would
should.
hope.
It would scare most the population away if they saw that mess.
Ask
All right,
me about the
I don't know where
outflow.
this is going, but thank God we got a commercial break, and we'll answer that question legitimately next on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Welcome aboard. I will be your captain. You'll be my scallywags. I don't know what that means, but you will be them. And here's how we play.
Thank you for your attention and welcome aboard.
Let's go.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That is me along with Barry the Boater and Mike the Mariner rounded out the crew. Okay, so what is the most common issue a boater may have to deal with while out on the water? And I mean issue, in a negative sense.
Right.
May surprise you. I didn't know what the answer was. Mike the Mariner threw it at Barry and I before we started the show today, and he stumped us both. But he's ready to share the answer now, and we'll discuss it accordingly. So what is it?
So according to U.S. Coast Guard statistics, the most common mishap is a collision, whether it's with another boat or a fixed object or an underwater object. But that's not necessarily always an emergency.
Right.
It's a mishap, many of them.
Okay.
The most common real emergency is a medical emergency on a vessel. And I thought it was pretty interesting because I had a friend that went through that, and it was a pretty serious event. He was 35 miles offshore, and he was fishing with his friends, and he experienced a heart attack. And so that's one of those things that you wouldn't expect if you're a relatively healthy person.
Right.
But many people have medical conditions that might or might not affect them at any given time, but you still have to live life. You're still going to want to get on a boat every once in a while and go to the Bahamas for a trip or something like that, whether or not you have that medical condition, because you're going to live life. And one of the main things you should do, aside from having medical gear specific to what you might be experiencing, is to, you certainly don't necessarily want to share all of your medical information with the captain or a friend or whoever's running the boat, but have a letter, a sealed letter with you that describes in one page what conditions you have that might affect your health. And if a health event happens and the Coast Guard's called or medical professionals were called inshore or whatever, you can simply hand them the envelope and say, please read this. This might be what's happening to me. That can be one of the main things that could save your life, because then that points the EMTs in the direction of care for you. So,
You know what? It's a plan. And I think
yes.
you could even take it back a further step, because this applies to us when we're scuba diving as well. And Barry and I have the same issue as far as when you're out there diving. A little thing on land can be dealt with pretty easily, but when you're out on a boat or on a dive boat, a liveaboard or something like that, and something happens, whether it's as serious as a heart issue, or even you break an arm or you get cut or bit by something. I mean, that can be a serious issue if you're far away from land and from help. And,
Yeah.
so
And
you're having a plan with the boat that you're, the captain, and as far as the information about your specific, health issues. I mean, having it written down on a piece of paper is one thing. I mean, you can do it in your phone too. They got that kind of built into the Apple OS where you can put it in your health stuff. That's
yeah,
where
but
I have mine.
nothing beats an actual document in a
True.
water in a water safe thing, because if you're unconscious, no one can unlock your phone. And so
Well,
they might not be able to get to it,
well,
or might not know how to get to it.
well, there is ways to. I think the health thing on the app allows you to put your health information out there, so EMTs can get access to it without your permission. There's some kind of trick in there on that, but yeah, I mean, obviously the fail-safe is just having it on paper and protected, of course. Barry, what do you think?
So I have that in my wallet. It shows that I have a torn ACL in my left knee. That occurred while diving.
And some people think I'm
In a dive boat.
mildly insane.
Right. And and I take drugs for that. And all my other medications and what I take and any other health issues are you type it, put it on a card, and then you take it over to Kinko's or wherever, and you get it laminated and put it in your wallet. And I carry it in my wallet, for emergencies. And that's my including telephone numbers on where they could reach, my next of kin if they want to, accept my body, or they'll just say leave it out in the ocean.
But that's also a good part of a float plan.
Yeah.
If you're a guest on someone else's vessel, or if you're the captain of a vessel and you're taking friends out, I mean, you could be the one as the captain that experiences the health issue.
Right.
Letting people know where to find that. I wouldn't have known to go through your wallet. If you were,
but that's
I would
something
have.
that
That'd
you
been the
should.
first thing if Barry had an issue. Wonder if he has any cash
Ooh,
on him.
look at all the cash he has. But
Crap,
you should have
nothing.
that. It doesn't matter whether you're on a boat or not. When I go cycling, I have the thing called Road ID. It was a big thing with cyclists, and it would have the basic information: the drugs you take, telephone numbers for emergencies, blood type, and any known allergies. Those are the basic things that the EMT would want to see, and we wore that we wear it as a bracelet when we ride.
Well, and that's it. Like I said, that's built into I think the health app on the Apple OS, and you can.
But
do
again,
that.
that's a telephone. You
Well,
have
it's the
to
same
be,
thing.
yeah.
It's connected to your watch. I got an Apple Watch. The whole thing it does that type of thing. But there is a way to do that. Apple, and I'm sure they have that for Google
but you
phones
have to be
too.
around people that would know instinctively to go to that. Not
Right.
everybody's tech savvy, so
Mhm.
I like
You like
the
old
idea
school.
of simplicity.
Yeah.
As a backup, maybe you
Yeah.
do both.
I agree.
Why not?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can
And
do more than
especially
one
if you're
thing.
on a boat, especially if you're going, making a crossing over to the Bahamas or something. You're 65 miles of open ocean, right?
Right.
And if you're halfway over, if you think about if you're 10 miles from a hospital on land, and compare that to 10 miles offshore, each mile is 5 or 6 minutes longer if you're in a boat that goes 20 knots.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You're much further away 10 miles offshore than you are 10 miles from a hospital on land because a car's faster, right?
Right.
So,
but it could happen anywhere. You don't have to be far offshore, but just knowing that you're out on the water and you don't have instant access to an ambulance or something, and there's going to be some time. I mean, that can be the difference between life and death. I mean, it absolutely can. So it's just a matter of putting it, like you said, part of your float plan. You should think of that, or just put this in your back pocket. I mean, that kind of thinking really doesn't just apply to boating. It applies to everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't have thought about that being like the most common, problem that people have. But, more and more, situations happen. When you're out boating, like I said, it's a compound issue. And when you're on land, it's still very serious when something goes wrong. But God help you if you're out on a boat away from shore and it's going to take you a certain time to get back to a place where then you can be sent to the hospital. I mean, that added element creates a life and death situation that can make it 10 times worse if they don't know what to do or you don't have a plan. So don't want to scare everybody, but golly, you got to think about it sometimes.
And it's just being prepared. And if you have some specific health issues, you should probably have a little kit with you that helps address that, and maybe brief someone on the boat that, hey, if this happens to me, pull this out. I might be
if you have
or whatever. Take this out and give me a shot or whatever.
Yeah, if something happens to Barry when we're out on the water. What can you tell us about Barry? It's like, well, he's kind of borderline insane. And all I know is if it's serious, do not resuscitate. And that's not his, that's not by
that's
his
for my
will.
family. Yeah, they keep saying don't resuscitate. Why do you keep bringing him back?
I just know what they would want and what I would want. So, anywho, maybe that's just us. More coming up on the World of Boating.
Listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
What is your problem? We had something. I felt it. I felt it on the bow. I felt it on the stern. Then a few more times on the bow, then the stern again. Then you flipped me over onto my starboard side. I even tried aft for the first time.
I'm on a boat.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the boater, Mike the mariner, rounding out the crew. Okay, so Barry is on a kick to educate our passengers with the useless boating lingo that you may not even have realized it was boating lingo. Like
scallywag.
Well, cul-de-sac you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. But scallywag, he was telling me during the commercial break, he says, Ellen keeps talking about she doesn't know what a scallywag is. Maybe we should tell our passengers accordingly what that is.
So a scallywag typically refers to a rascal, a scamp, or a mischievous person with roots in 19th century slang that also described treacherous Southerners during the American Civil War.
So basically,
or a scamp.
The entire World of Boating crew.
Basically, everyone here is a scallywag.
Mm-hmm.
I've been called that.
Yeah, pirates would have been scallywags. They were treacherous. They were, mischievous people.
Yeah.
A scamp. I haven't heard that term in, you were raised during those terms, right, Greg?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what you're talking about,
Greg.
Barry. Yeah,
Old Greg.
Whatever, you scamp.
He's scamp. He's scallywag you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we got that. What do you think, Mike? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, boating season is here.
It is.
Well, in Florida, winter is boating season for us, but
weather's great.
For the rest of the nation, boating weather is here, and if you want to avoid the most common mishaps, you really just need to make sure that you kind of give yourself a checklist. And one of the primary things is neglecting weather reports. So you might be all excited about getting your boat ready and getting out there on the water, and you forget to check the weather and find out there's a cold front coming through that has a squall line associated with it.
Oh, look, it's so sunny out. What could possibly go wrong?
I just saw a report where we're actually on the cusp of moving into another El Nino, which for Florida, what that generally means is that we're going to have probably a pretty wet summer. It actually, El Nino helps us when it comes to hurricanes.
Right.
But the typical weather system pattern in Florida where you could almost set your watch to, okay, it's afternoon thunderstorm time. Let's go. Good Lord. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
And, and we're about to move into that. And those storms that come in through Florida through the afternoon can pretty scare the bejesus out of you sometimes with the lightning.
I know. My boat got struck by lightning twice.
Yeah.
Took out my electronics out. We've talked about that on the show.
It doesn't matter if you're a scallywag or not. It could get you.
You will see Mike out there with the aluminum foil completely wrapping his boat and making sure it's tied to ground or to the water.
Look at that great big metal boat.
I don't think that's what he did, Barry.
Yes.
But interestingly, the second most common mishap is over-reliance on your electronics. And I think a lot of people do that. I see people staring at their screens all the time, and the thing is, you should probably always, especially if you're going on a trip, 50, 60 miles up and down the intercoastal, you should have a backup chart, old school paper, and you should know your waters. You should study that and make sure that if something happens to your electronics, you're not just looking around going, what do I do next? You should always have some situational awareness about what's around you and where you're going.
Right.
And that kind of plays into overconfidence. I think electronics kind of give you that crutch that you
false
rely
sense
on
of
too much.
security. Yeah.
Right.
Well, they say that if you're using your GPS and let's say you put in your starting point and your destination for your car, Google will have you turn at different waypoints. Every turn is a waypoint.
Right.
But if you don't set that up, your course on your GPS before you leave, you may end up having one waypoint go over dry land or your course going through dry land to get to the other side. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to beat yourself.
Well, I guess so. In like my system, I can set a destination point, and it will actually mark out the entire route for me on navigable waters. And I put information into the electronics that I tell them how much my boat drafts.
Right.
I tell the system how much my boat drafts, and it takes me based on the chart where my boat can go. And all the way, and I can actually turn on my autopilot, and the boat will drive itself there.
Yeah,
even on a river.
But it could be wrong. I mean,
you don't want to do that,
right?
I mean, I don't use my autopilot. I do use my routing because I just like doing it. It's fun, but I don't use autopilot in restricted waters on a river because there's too many variables.
Well,
you're too
you
close
could have
to
a
other
tide
traffic.
change, or it could have some, something that
other
got
vessels.
dumped. A tree came down.
Right.
That's where you got to still be paying attention. You can't rely on it 100%.
Right. And autopilot is not a reason for you to not pay attention. Yeah. I mean,
and autopilot is tied to GPS, and GPS can be messed with, especially when we're at war. It has been known that the government will degrade the GPS signal so that instead of having maybe a 10-foot variance, it may be a 100-foot variance, which could be the difference between hitting a pier and going under the bridge.
And I have experienced that back when there was a war going on in the Middle East some years ago. I was running my dad's boat, and we were using autopilot, and we're both standing there watching everything. And I thought, isn't it interesting? We set our waypoint for this inlet to go in the northern part of the Florida Keys, and we're missing it by a half mile.
Oh my God!
No, but we were watching.
Yeah,
it.
you were watching it.
We were watching it. we noticed it, and we were watching it. And we're like, yeah. So the GPS offset was adjusted, and I think what the military does is they probably have that adjustment built into their system, so it's accurate for them and a little off for others, right? So those are things that they do to make sure that the enemy can't benefit from those technologies.
Right.
But,
correct.
But yeah, those are all things you have to be very, very situationally aware about.
So there was nothing about don't forget to put the drain plug in your boat before you launch. No?
Well, that's a basic one, and I do have a funny story about that. When I was a kid, we went on a boat trip with our other family friends. We had 3 boats with us, and our one of my dad's best friends put his boat in the water, and we were getting my dad's boat unloaded off the trailer, and I looked over, and my dad's friend's boat was sinking. I said, "Hey, Dad, his boat's a little low in the water, isn't it?" And my dad jumped in the water and stuck his finger in the
in the hole and held it in there
and waited for him to find his plug.
Wow, well, that's a true
get
friend.
My finger back out. Oh no.
Yeah,
you don't want to be that guy. Yeah, I mean
No,
that's
you
the
don't wanna be
most
that guy.
common sinking issue for boats. Is like they forget to do the drain plug thing, or Bill's
raise
pump
the engine
fails
when they pull the
at
boat
the
up.
dock. They sink. The most common
Yeah.
places at the dock. But when you're out on the water, stuff happens. So have a plan. That's
Yes,
right.
have a plan.
Just like every time I
Communicate.
go out boating with Barry, we have a quick little discussion, and we say if we're going to go offshore, and
Yep.
we lose power and we become, adrift,
Oh no.
who are we going to eat first to survive?
Right. It's not me
Yeah, but that-
anymore. Nope. I'm sorry. All that
Fat is
juicy
flavor.
Stuff. Nope.
And
The
so
fat is
Barry,
going away.
well, it
You're
is.
gonna
That's
have a
actually-
problem.
That's actually a crucial point, and that is communicating with the people that are out on your boat. I mean, sometimes I'll have 10 people or more on my boat,
Right.
and before we leave the dock, I always do a little orientation. Here's
Yeah,
where the
like, hey,
safety
you're
gear is,
you're the
your
one we're going to
first aid
eat
kit.
first. So,
Yeah.
Disgusting.
you got to get that out of the way. But
Right.
Otherwise, if you wait till the last minute, it's going to be very awkward. On that disturbing note, we're going to wrap it up. Till next time, remember, whether it's sail or motor,
Life is better as a boater.
safe boating, everyone.
Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab!
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.